Good morning, true crime friends. How you doing? Listen, yesterday we got a verdict in the state of Southern Idaho versus Lori Vallow, and there is so much to discuss. But first, you know what you need to do. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. That helps other people find us. Also, find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky. We need to talk about this verdict. Now, I know you thought, I made a little video last night where I was like, wait. Was there jury misconduct? I have questions. I have since received additional information, and I think maybe not, but I still have questions. We're going to get into it. But first, I'm going to walk you through the whole entire day, right? So we were waiting for like 2 hours or something yesterday. Keep in mind, they started deliberating the day before yesterday, and then after 20 minutes, they're like, we need to go home. I can't. And they all agreed to go home. Now, in my mind, they were like, oh, obviously the health is guilty. And so let's just go and sleep on it. So it seems like we really thought about it or something like that. And then we could go and find her guilty in the morning. So I was like, before I'm finished with my coffee or my lunch or whatever, because time zone differences, we're going to have a verdict and I can just go on with my happy life. Oh, that is not how this unfolded at all. So first, we hear there's a verdict, right? And then the judge comes in and I was like, okay. The judge is here. We about to walk through the whole thing. And he was real calm, easy as you please. And he was like, hey, y'all, hey. I mean, in judicial language and stuff. And he was just like, okay, so there's a verdict. And when the jury comes back, if there's an aggravation phase, which translation, if they done fried the heifer, if there's an aggravation phase, will you have witnesses? And the state stands up and it's like, the family is coming in. Oh, they have a whole mouthful of stuff to say. And Lori was like, can I just stipulate? And I was just like, ma'am, I'm gonna need you to get your whole attitude together. But clearly her act right is not installed at all. So, okay. And Lori was like, the judge was like, I mean, you could, but you don't want to ask no questions or nothing. Under the law, you could go through like a whole judicial process. And she was like, isn't it just a set sentence? No matter what happens, then like, it's just one sentence. And the judge was like, no, dum-dum. If you were a lawyer, you will already understand that if the jury finds that there's aggravation, then I can max you out. Other than that, I could give you a lesser sentence, which since she's already doing 3 life sentences, kind of really doesn't matter. But if that verdict somehow in Northern Idaho gets overturned, then that could be very meaningful for her when she's a real old lady down here in Arizona. And I was like, okay, we're going to figure that out later. And Lori was like, I will just stipulate. And the judge was like, Heifer, maybe wait till they find you guilty first. I mean, wait till we hear the verdict and then you can make a decision. And she was like, okay. She was every 8th grade girl you have ever met in your life. So then the jury enters and I was like, oh my God, here it is. This is the moment that we all wait for. So the jury comes in and they sit down. It's 10 men, 2 women, right? And then the clerk gets the verdict. And I was like, okay, clerk, just give it to me. Sometimes the clerk opens up the paper and is like, Heifer did it, right? Other times they give you like a whole disclaimer. This clerk, bless her heart, I trust and believe she was following all the rules and stuff. But I'm not real big on rules and stuff. So it was really, really on my nerves. She was like, we of the state of Southern Idaho, city of whatever city they were in, I don't know, county of Maricopa, find Lori Vallow. I was like, okay, this is where we get to it. She was like, land of pokey cactuses and hot steering wheels in the summertime on count 1 on the date of, I was like, oh dear black Jesus, I can't with this lady. And then she was like, guilty. And I was like, yay. And so apparently Kay and the Woodcock family and them were like, yes, we got the heifer. Okay. And so nobody said anything. And then the judge usually says, would you like to poll the jury? And the state was like, because we got the verdict that we wanted. But the judge, bless his heart, he knows that Lori is kind of a dum-dum. So he's like, on behalf of dum-dum over there, I'm going to go ahead and poll the jury. Now, that is not what he said exactly. That's the spirit of what he said. And so they were like, okay, juror number 1, juror number 2, blah, blah, blah. Everybody said it was guilty. And so I was like, okay, now keep in mind, Lori wanted a jury of 12 men because she's like, I'm super duper pretty and I have bouncy blonde hair. And obviously, even though I got my hair in this Shih Tzu ponytail right here on the top, looking like I just came from the groomer, obviously, some of these men will think I'm real cute. And then maybe I could be their wife and then I could be out to maybe unfortunately unalive them for life insurance one day. But it ain't work out that good because in the end, all 12 of them found her guilty. And so the judge is like, okay, thanks, y'all, in judicial language. And then he sent them over to the back room and told them to wait for a minute because he had to talk to old Dum Dum about this whole stipulation thing with the aggravation. So the judge was like, okay, hey, girl, hi, now that they have they have adjudicated you guilty, there's some stuff we need to go through. But if you're willing to just acknowledge that, yes, you used and accomplished, yes, you a dangerous hoe, and that you harm people financially and emotionally, then we can just go and skip that part. And she was just like, yeah, that's cool. That's fine. They're just like, what? You know that since you stipulated, I could also find additional aggravators. And she was like, yeah. And the judge was like, have you had drugs or alcohol? Look, at least the heifer would have an excuse if that was the case. Her brain is real ticklish. Something wrong with her. So she was like, ooh, no, yuck. And I was like, okay. And then the judge was like, okay, tell them jury folks they can go. Tell them they want to stick around. I can shake their hand and say, hey, girl, hey, to them if they want to. Again, not quoting, but that's spirit of what he said. And he was like, otherwise they could just go home. And then he was like, okay, convict Lori. So we need to talk sentencing date. Usually, according to the law, it needs to be within 30 days. Now, listen, this judge is all about keeping a clean record, right? He wants to make sure he has nailed this heifer to the letter of the law. Everything is done properly, so there's nothing to come back on appeal. So he was like, Lori, you can get a sentence within 30 days if that's what you would like. And she was like, hey, you choose. Whatever works for you, works for me. And he was like, oh, this bisque. Thick, creamy soup. I'm not calling nobody out their name. Not me. Anyway, so she was like, I thought about it, and I know I have a trial coming up in this jurisdiction, so we will just wait until after that trial. And the judge was like, okay, good. So I'm not going to do that pre-sentencing report, whatever. And then everybody left the courtroom. And I was like, okay, here's the thing you need to understand. That is when this all got very, very interesting. The jurors were interviewed. And I was like, yes, I am dying to hear what the jurors have to say. This is what we found out. Yesterday, the jurors learned that Tylee was dead. I want to know every single thing because who knew? And I understand that some people can know about this case if they agree to not hold it against Lori, but if you tell the other jurors during deliberation, well, she killed her kids, do they also have to promise not to hold that against Lori? Like, I don't understand how all of that works. And so in the jurors interview, the man in the blue shirt, I am going to put a link to the exact video that I saw that gave me pause yesterday. I will put it in the description box of this video. So the questionable juror, when interviewed by the news, said immediately on the heels of the verdict, yesterday, I was driving home and I was thinking she has nothing to lose. She's already going to do 3 life sentences or something like that. That's not an exact quote, but that's basically what he said. And I was thinking, well, wait, if they only deliberated for 20 minutes yesterday, in that 20 minutes, somebody walked in the room and was like, yo, she done killed them kids. Now, that's how it happened in my mind. And like this juror knew that he knew the day they started deliberating. Somebody in the jury room told, because the juror in the blue shirt said, I had never heard of Lori Vallow Daybell. I only watch Fox News. I don't watch NBC, ABC, whatever. All of that is fine. I don't care. He was saying he never heard of this lady. He never heard of this case. He lives in this community. But then when they started deliberating yesterday, somebody went and spilled the beans and said that Tylee was dead. Now, did they also say JJ was dead? Did they say whatever? I don't know what the jury was told in the course of the deliberations. If the jurors knew something about that Northern Idaho trial during the deliberations of this case, I mean, listen, I think they found the right answer in this case based on this set of facts and this evidence, but was that proper for them to know that information? Therefore, was there juror misconduct by somebody? I don't know. It's an open question. Peter Tragos, where you at? What's his channel? The lawyer you know? I need the lawyer I know to answer this question because it is a burning in my mind. I really, really have to know. Maybe nothing was done wrong. I don't know. I'm asking the question, was there juror misconduct? Question mark. So nobody's like, well, Kathy said. Also, I heard out in these true crime streets that people's like, gossip over on Gossip Rumor and Innuendo. She said there was juror misconduct. That's not what I said. I asked the question, was there juror misconduct? And I still have not received a satisfactory answer. I'm telling you right now, I will link the video I saw in the description box of this video. It will be the very first link so you don't get confused. And then you watch it and you tell me what you think. Please tell me in the comments below. Also, the jury went on to say that when they first went back there, they were split 10-2. Two people were like, I don't know. I mean, yes, the bullet was there, and yes, the this, and yes, the that. The two things that convinced them were the emails. Maybe he was Ned before we got rid of him. And the other thing that convinced them was the prosecuting attorney putting it all together, tying a bow on it. Good job, prosecutor Tina K, for bringing it all the way home. Sis, we knew you could do it. We believed in you from day one. At least I believed in you. Okay, real talk. I didn't know this heifer at all. I mean, I didn't know this fine prosecutor at all. I didn't know her name. I didn't know nothing about her. I was confusing her with Kay Woodcock. But if she got this conviction, yes, girl, good on you. I owe you a coffee, a very big one. Or maybe the state can just do that for you, and then I don't have to fly to Southern Idaho, land of pokey cactuses and hot steering wheels. Anyway, so then after the verdict, after they talked to the jurors, 3 jurors have talked. You could go watch their interviews, but the man in the blue shirt was the one that was the most interesting to me. Oh, the lady, Tosh Smith, whatever her name was. The lady with the short haircut, she's like, I know nothing about this. My grandma knew about it. And so listen, you're not supposed to talk at all about this case, right? So Tosh was like, I went home and I told my grandma I have jury duty. And the grandma was like, well, what's the case? And the grandma says Lori, and Tosh says Lori Vallow Daybell. And the grandmother was like, girl. And she was just like, what, grandma? I don't know nothing about it. That's the way it should be. And according to Tosh, grandma ain't say nothing. Good for you, grandma, because you wasn't supposed to say nothing. But part of me is like, you know, grandma wants all the tea, all the way. I want to hang out with grandma right now. Can somebody give me grandma's number? Is grandma willing to go on live stream? Grandma, girl, I need to talk to you. Are you a true crime fan? Are you watching the Gossip Rumor and the Innuendo? You know grandma was a curtain twitcher, because grandmas everywhere are curtain twitchers. That's what happens. You have some grandbabies. You pick a grandma name. You start minding other people's business. That's the way that goes. I think that's nature. I think Mother Nature has set us up that way. I'm extra strength nosy because I got 4 grandchildren. Yes, 4, 2 boys, 2 girls. I love it. Also, I'm super nosy. And when I take them on little walks and stuff, I can peek in other people's curtains and see what's going on in the neighborhood. Lastly, the Woodcock family got up there and they were just like, hey, look, Kay Woodcock. Oh, I love Kay Woodcock. She is a personal superhero as far as I'm concerned. Most cases have one. There is always a superhero who is out here minding other folks' business and keeping everything right. She making sure everybody's act right is fully installed, tightened up, all the nuts and bolts. Your act right is fully oiled and ready to go. That is what Kay Woodcock does. She in act right maintenance. I'm telling you right now. So Miss Kay walked up after the verdict and she saw Lauren from Hidden True Crime and she's like, oh, hey girl, hey, hold my purse. Let me go talk to these microphones. Okay, because you know a superhero's work is never done. And then she fluffed her cape and she stepped up, and then her brother Jerry stepped in front. And I was like, okay, Jerry, we haven't heard from you. Jerry seemed like he a lot of fun. Jerry was like, yeah, they got her. Kay was like, say your name. He's just like, don't you worry about that. Lori's lawyering sucked. And so they was asking him questions and he was just like, yeah, she was terrible. She was terrible. Finally, people was like, can we get the Act Right installation manager, can she step forward, please, and just explain her point of view and what she was thinking? So Kay stepped up and she was just like, oh, hey, y'all, I'm used to cameras. I'm used to the spotlight. Listen, I'm really, really glad that this has happened. I never forgot about Charles. Please know, as the chief inspector in charge of Act Right, I kept my foot in the behind of local law enforcement. Y'all thought that everybody was forgetting about Charles. I was not forgetting about Charles. Trust and believe. I believe from the bottom of my heart that Miss Kay kept her foot on the neck of Arizona law enforcement, Southern Idaho law enforcement, to make sure they did not forget about her brother. And I love this. She said Charles was a Southern gentleman. He would have wanted the ladies to go first. Let Tammy's case go. Let the child, let Tylee and JJ, all their cases could go first. Let her get them life sentences over there. And then he's like, okay, I'm going to stand back. Oh, now it's my turn. Okay, now I will go and get this heifer convicted. And that is exactly what happened. Kay was extremely happy. And apparently when Kay got off the stand the other day, her family was like, look, Kay's like me. She just talking. She don't remember what she said. Child, that is the story of my life. People quote me back to me in the comments, and I'm like, oh, that's funny. Who said that? Please know, whenever I make these videos every single morning, they never seem funny to me. Never. To me, I'm just explaining what happened. And then people are like, oh my God, that's really funny. And I'm like, huh, really? Anyway, we not talk about me. We talk about this family. So anyway, Kay is like, look, my family told me that Lori was up there shaking. She was shook. She was shooketh, y'all. Somebody need to shake Kay. Because look, she not scared of Jesus. She not scared of the law. She not even scared of her boyfriend, the angel Moroni. You know who she's scared of? Kay Woodcock. And well, she should be. And Kay is like, I have things to do. So I keep my foot in the behind of law enforcement. I inspect everybody act right. And then I go home and I raise my 10-year-old granddaughter. Oh yeah, she's raising JJ's little sister. That's not a rumor. I mean, it is kind of a rumor, but I heard that during the last trial. You see, JJ Vallow's parents had some issues and they were not able to raise their own kids. So first they had JJ and JJ got put up for adoption. That's when Lori and Charles adopted him. But that mother, I think her name was Mandy, had another baby, a little girl. And Kay and Larry have custody of the 10-year-old little girl and they are raising her. Mandy has since passed away. May she rest. But Kay and Larry hopefully are raising I'm sure they're raising a beautiful, bright child, 10 years old. Kay is like, I need to get back home to my 10-year-old granddaughter. I have things to do. And I was like, yes, Miss Lori, because listen, superheroes stay busy. The Act Right installation business is gone unmanaged while she's up here in Southern Idaho. She needs to get back to her life, her business, her family, and everything else. But she let us know she will be back for Brandon Boudreaux's trial. Child, you know I'm going to be back for Brandon Boudreaux's trial as well, because also I'm real nosy and I'm the gossip lady. You know, I got to give you the gossip, the rumor, and the innuendo related to that trial. Oh, one thing she said about Lori, that honey, the way I fell out, she was just like, they said, well, what did you think about Lori being her own lawyer? She was just like, all that baby talk was, Your Honor, blah, 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 blah. She like, that was ridiculous. I hope she grows up while she's in prison and gets her Act Right fully installed. I'm gonna send an inspection team over later. You know, that's what she was thinking. That's not exactly what she said, but that is the spirit of what she said. And then Jerry, who was never gonna be left out, piped in and he was like, well, you know what Charles said, love always wins. And I was like, that is right. Love has won. We are thrilled. And I'm going to close this video out by quoting the great philosopher, Jerry Woodcock, when he said, they got the bitch again. Well, Jerry done preached a whole sermon with that one sentence, a whole entire sermon. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you soon. Bye.